Jesus is a biscuit, let him top you up. Oh, Jesus is a biscuit, let him top you up. Hey guys, oh, finally, we are caught up. I'm gonna get this up to you as soon as I can, but I have a show tonight. So I don't know how that's gonna go because I don't be up for editing after I perform, okay? Anyway, I just wanted to say thank you to everybody who is trying to help my channel. You guys are so sweet. You want me to get like big numbers. You want me to be like the other big YouTubers. And I totally appreciate that. Two things about that. One, this is a hobby for me. I love it. I've been more consistent with it because of you guys, but I do enjoy what I do. I'm a full-time actress, okay? That is my first priority. I make this a strong second because you guys are so amazing. You really, really are. And before I did this, I didn't believe that you could really have like connections with people online who you've never met. I waited a long time to get into YouTube because I didn't really know what was going on here. I couldn't really trust it. I got information from it, but I didn't want to put myself out there just because I didn't know what this territory was, right? But doing this, I'm telling you, I have had such a great time because of you guys. I love the show. I was going to watch it, whether I reviewed it or not, but I decided to do it and you guys have been so great. So I thank you for all of the, comments and just being like, you should use pictures because we want you to get big, and thank you so much for that. However, unless cast members post pictures on Instagram, I can't use the pictures because I already had one network of a show that I review try to like come at my channel. And what happens is if you use pictures from the show that you essentially don't have permission for, they do like a copyright on you and you could lose your YouTube channel. And I don't want to lose my baby, okay? So I try to put pictures up when I can, only if they're on Instagram. If they're not anywhere else, I just can't use them. Once I get bigger, because it's happening, guys, don't you worry, it's happening. Once I get bigger, the networks will reach out to me and then I'll be able to use pictures and clips and images or whatever. I'm working on that. My manager is getting some things together, so don't y'all worry, but I just wanted to say thank you because I get a lot of people who reach out to me about how to help this channel get bigger, and it's never negative. I never have a problem with it because it's coming from a good place. I know that you guys really want to see me grow and shine, and I love that, and I just wanted to say thank you. Now, let's get into it. We meet the queens back in the workroom after a really emotional elimination. Everybody was feeling some sort of way about Latrice leaving the show because she essentially is the heart of Drag Race. Let's be honest. Sorry, Monique Hart, you getting messy this season. But anyway, we still love you. But a lot of people were hurt, especially Manila, who really was dealing with the fact that she couldn't save her friend. She went in that lip sync like, you are staying here, girl. And when she could not do that, she was heartbroken. So all of the queens are consoling her until they found out that she picked Monet. And I'm like, first of all, Monet being gagged that she was chosen. I'm like, are you serious? They have a friendship that expands longer than a decade. Are you joking? You mean to tell me that if you and Bob was on this show and you and Bob was in a bottom two, that you would pick anybody else over Bob? Like, girl, stop playing. Like, I couldn't deal with that. And I also was not ready for the queens to like turn to her. Like when Manila got up and she was like, are you guys? And they were all like, and she was like, well, okay. Because come on, you guys have to be realistic. They are really good friends. Do you really think she was going to play the fairness here over somebody that she loves and they've been in each other's life for 10 years? You wouldn't do that, Monet. So why would you expect Manila to do that? So I'm really glad that Monet and Manila got it together before the whole performance because Monet was upset and she was just like, oh, I'm gunning for you. I'm not going to take my eye off of you. And I'm like, wait a minute, Monet, I love you, but you haven't had a strong season. When you were on just regular Drag Race and All Stars, you are fading, sis. You need to focus on this competition. And I'm glad towards the end, they got it together. Manila being, the more senior queen was able to really start off the conversation in a loving and a healing way. And they were able to, cut the bull and get back into the competition and being sisters again. And I'm glad that Manila gave Monet the olive branch. It was just like, listen, I don't think you're a lesser queen. I love Latrice. You know what I mean? Like, I have a really strong love and friendship with her, and I couldn't bring myself to do it. And I'm just glad that they got it together because I was just like, Monet, You cannot be on a vengeance on this show when you are barely reaching the top, sis. Let's stop. You got to get the crown first. Then, do all that mess. But right now, you got to stay focused. And she did. Let's get into it. So before we even get into the challenge, can we talk about Valentina? I'm telling y'all, she's producing every moment. And now she even has a segment where the cameras wait for her to walk in the room and announce what she's wearing. No other queen is doing that. Like, y'all gotta watch this chick. She came here with a plan, and I'm telling y'all, she's doing it. She is doing a damn thing. Mother walked in shades, okay? This fur coat with like these fur matching shorts, and she just took a little moment. I was just like, y'all let her have 2 or 3 minutes of solo time on the show where it's an ensemble cast. Catch what the girl is doing. Please, whoever is going to be on Drag Race Season 11, study Valentina. Study what the girl is doing and do it better. And then for the rest of the damn show, she hit us with a sparkly number. So every time she's in the shot, she is stealing focus by the garments. Yes, sis, this is how you do reality TV. Now let's talk about the Maxi Challenge, a roast of Lady Bunny. America, we gon' pray. And the guest judges for today's episode is Yvette Nicole Brown and Cecily Strong, who, can I tell you, this is the best she's ever looked. I feel like she went to her stylist and was just like, I'm going to be on Drag Race, baby. I have to look sickening. And she did. That long ponytail. Then she had on like this bedazzled dress for the walk-in. And when she was coaching the queens on their jokes, she had on these bad white boots. I was like, okay, Cecily, I see that reoccurring cast member on SNL money is kicking in. Do the damn thing, sis. Do it. So it seems like after Monet and Manila were able to, make amends, Monet could focus on the challenge because this roast, she slayed. It is very hard, 2 things, very hard to open and close a show, especially a roast, because not only do you got to get some digs in, but you got to be funny and you really got to work the audience. Monet came in so confident, her jokes landed. Oh, and I was so excited because, like I said before, I was a fan of her on YouTube. So I was excited when she got on this show. I was just even more elated that the Monet that I have been standing for showed up. She showed up and she killed. I was so happy. Like every joke hit, she let the audience rest. You know what I mean? She let them understand the joke, laugh at the joke, let the laughter die down and hit them with another joke. And I was like, this is what I'm talking about, Monet. This is who I've been standing for. Thank you for letting the world see what I already knew. Trinity the Tuck. This hurt me, okay? Because Trinity has been doing really well in her comedy department. But see, this is the thing. Even if you're naturally funny and you sometimes happen to slay an audience, that's just chance, okay? When you are doing like comedy professionally, you got to work on that. And I'm not saying that she didn't work. I think she was relying too much on her being naturally funny, that she wasn't really working on the structure. And I also think that when she met with Cecily, she kind of got in her head about the weight of this challenge. You know what I mean? I just don't think that she was prepared properly. And to be honest, I don't think she knew how to do it. Because when she's working with her own material or something that she created, she can do a really good job. But now she has to work off of a subject given to her. And she just got caught up in her head. And I think that had she had a bit more time and a bit more coaching, she could have killed. Because it's in her. It's in her. That's the thing. Like, when a person has talent, you can work with it. You can train it. You can get it to a place. The hardest thing is working with somebody who just don't have that gift. Okay? And we're going to talk about the rest. That was rough. Since we're talking about who has the gift and who doesn't, Monique Hart, got it. She has that naturally comedic gift of talent. It is in her. And she pulled from a character that she knew well. If you grew up in a Black Baptist church, you're like, just Black church in general, you know that character. So she was able to rely on that character and then able to deal with the subject. And basically, I think what she just did with Lady Bunny, because maybe she probably didn't know a lot about her. She just took a little things just physically about her, made jokes of it, but you were really more or less laughing at the character. In my mind, it still met the challenge. So Valentina couldn't really understand the joke because she didn't understand the context or the reference from the character. But bottom line, the audience was loving it. Even if the audience didn't get the jokes, they was laughing at her physical comedy, and it was like she did it. Whether you understood or not, she slayed that audience. Naomi Smalls, Mama wasn't ready. I wish she would have not come as herself, because she doesn't think of herself as funny. She thinks of herself as a fashion look queen. What she is, but she's also very funny. When she did the Wendy Williams, it was a great performance, and I think she should have pulled from a character like that. I think that maybe, Rue or probably the other queens would have had a problem with her playing Wendy Williams, but I think at least she would have been safe. You know what I mean? Or maybe none of them would have been safe if they were in the bottom. But I just think that she has it in her concerning characters that she knows well. She can really play that. She played herself, and she doesn't think that she is funny. So she was already starting off on shaky ground. Like when she said she was coming as Naomi Smalls, I was like, the looks queen? I don't think you should do that, because you don't think that that character is funny. Now, if she had the confidence in her own comedic abilities, then she could have played Naomi Smalls. I think she should have walked in playing up everything about Naomi Smalls. Skinny, penis like a baseball bat, fashion everywhere, shade queen, millennial, she was doing Naomi Smalls, making fun of an older drag queen. And I was just like, you should have upped your character. Take the character of Naomi Smalls that walks on the runway and then put her in a roast of somebody she doesn't respect, somebody that she thinks she's better than. Freaking watch Naomi Campbell, okay? Your Honor, she's reaching. You know what I mean? It was there. It was there. She didn't know where to pull from. And that was the problem. It just went from worse to worser, okay? Valentino, what the hell? It was like a drunken Marilyn Monroe with... The thing is, I'll give it to the girl. She tried. Like, she put everything into that. She was just lost. I think she could have done the same thing that Naomi Smalls should have done. Play the character and have them roast Lady Bunny. Valentina wasn't playing Valentina. Valentina was playing... What is Valentina's name outside of drag? I don't even know their names outside of drag. I don't know not one drag queen's name outside of drag. Valentina was playing the boy that was in the dress. That's who she was playing. Same thing with Naomi. And the boy wasn't confident in the comedy. The boy wasn't confident in the work. And I'm like, no, you need to play that heifer that walks down the runway. The one that was walking to the lipstick, okay? The one that when you take critiques, you're, yes, thank you. Just with that character alone, just roasting Lady Bunny, you know what I mean? Like, that would have killed. But she wasn't confident in it. And you can tell, man. I know, and I'm not judging, you know what I mean? I know what that's like when you're not confident in your work. You're playing it from a safe place, but the audience can see it. And we saw her playing it safe because she wasn't confident. Manila, great closer. I think she did a good job. She had the audience from the moment she looked under that umbrella and was disgusted. Bam! That's how you close. Manila and Monet Exchange, they killed this challenge, and I was so excited to see the queens rise to the occasion because I felt like they have had unfair challenges back to back, and I don't think that this was unfair. I just think that the only way you could have done good in this challenge is if you had the confidence. And that is the thing that held some queens back, just confidence and not being very sure of what to do because people laugh at you, but you don't really know why. You don't know if it's your accent or whatever. So confidence here was a deciding factor, not confusion with the challenge. Now let's get into the runway. Runway. Angelic White. Rue's dress. You know, Cecily Strong really worked that wavy ponytail. She looked good. However, I do want to address, because there were some people in the comments who liked the dress or who liked the fact that she was experimenting with different silhouettes. I will give RuPaul that. I will give RuPaul that. She has been experimenting sometimes with different silhouettes, but today was a one shoulder and a scrunch. A scrunch? Really? Pedestrian. Pedestrian. So after the Roast Maxi Challenge, Monét X Change shows up on the runway and this Ho Pope stigmata garment. And I'm still just thinking about it right now, from the hat to the beading. It was a bodysuit, I'll give you that, but still, to the beading, to the boots, this is the first time I was able to deal with her contacts, the hair. Everything worked so well together. When she dropped that train and then turned around in the heart, I said, sis, this is what I know of you. Wakanda forever. This is what I know of you. I was like, guys, you know what? Maybe one day I'll do a live. I don't have the patience to like sit for an hour show and like deal with commercials. Maybe one day I'll just do like a DVR and watch it that way and like have you guys watch it with me. But like, I started screaming when I saw that girl walk down the runway. I was like, yes, this is it. This is who you are. Don't go back, please. She looked so great. She looked so great. And just coming off of that roast challenge, I knew that this was her episode to win. If it would have went another way, I would have thrown some. That look and her performance in the roast challenge, listen, clear winner to me. Monét X Change on the runway was my first. Like, that was a winner to me, that runway look alone. However, Trinity, a strong second, because when she walked out, the only thing I didn't like, I felt like the hair. I'll get to what I didn't like later. But when she walked out and just the beading of the feathers and then this crown thing, the dress, like, oh, she looked angelic, what? Like, she was the challenge. She was this runway look. And I think that she needed to really pull something like that out since she did such a bad job in the roast, because I totally forgot about her roast when I saw that outfit. If she would have did well in the roast, she would have won, because that outfit, and I don't know, probably would have been her and Monet, because it was just gorgeous. Even Ru was like, you know, when she walked out, I was like, oh my gosh, if I got the coin, I'm recreating that for Halloween. That was beautiful. The only thing I didn't like was the hair. I felt like the hair was a little pedestrian for that look, especially with the roots. I don't think I would have wanted curls. I probably would have wanted something just very soft, and I just felt the hair was too harsh for the look. But everything else, even down to her makeup, she really put in work for this look. She really did it up, and I'm glad she did. I'm glad she did, because she needed something, because whoo, that roast challenge, whoo, them prayers ain't work, America. Monique Hart, loved everything but the heart. Maybe it was the material. I felt like it was made out of the same material, but the heart looked so DIY on the rest of the garment. And I knew that the feathers were like blinds, but I didn't know that until she said it. I like that. I like the feather on the arms. I like the feather at the waist. Everything looked great. Even her headpiece, I really, really liked that. But the heart, like when she was walking, it was like jumping off, like it was like safety pinned on. It just looked very cheap. I'm sorry. The heart looked cheap, Monique. Everything else looked very expensive. But then you throw this heart on there, and I'm like, you probably should have did like a Monét X Change. And if you're going to do a heart, do something a little smaller, something maybe of a different color, like an elevated color, something. But that like faux heart that looked like, it looked like a decorative pillow that would be on somebody's couch. It didn't look like it should have been on her chest. Naomi needed to pull this look out, because when she walked down that aisle and she did her whole Prince thing, I was like, sis, you got it in you. There is a silliness about her. There is some comedy stuck in there, but she doesn't trust it, because that worked so well. She was very on it with Prince, and it was a great look. It was a great look, and I think she needed something like that as well to make us forget about that roast. Oh, Valentina. At first, I thought I was not going to like her outfit, but then the camera pulled out and we saw the full thing. We got down to the feathers. She's gorgeous. She's gorgeous. And unlike Rue, right? I'm tired of Rue's silhouette. Valentina, I never tire of her flute silhouette. It just looks so gorgeous on her. It really, really does. And I can see her in so many flute dresses and not hate it. Not hate it at all. She looked beautiful. And then there's Trinity. I mean, Manila. That was, Manila was funny, but that look, I hate to say this, it looked pedestrian. It was very, and I don't know how Ross, I think it was Ross who was just like, it could have been Halloween. And I was like, it was to me. It looked like a Halloween costume. I wasn't wowed by it. And I think it's because so many other great looks had went before hers. And then we got to her and I'm like, is this a toga party? Everything else from the neck up, she looked amazing. But the dress, I'm like, that is what we are looking at. It just was a no from me. Michelle Visage is proud of Monet Exchange, and so are we. Okay, so let's talk about Valentina's eye makeup. I thought she did that as a joke to Rue with I like to keep them on, please. That's why I thought she did it. I didn't know that she didn't have time to finish her eye makeup because she was still working on the challenge. I don't know. How do you guys feel about that? Because everybody else was able to do their full makeup, full garment, and still get their jokes together. I don't know. Is this a thing with Valentina where she kind of waits to the last minute? Because I feel like I've been here before with Valentina where she's saying she doesn't have enough time. When she forgot the lyrics to her lip sync, she was saying she was working so hard on something else she didn't have time to really memorize the song. And I'm like, excuses. They have no uses, Valentina. I don't know. That kind of rubbed me the wrong way a little bit because I'm like, girl, I feel like I've heard this excuse before, and now I remembered it was on her challenge that she lost. So, what do y'all think? Let me know in the comment section below. Okay, so Manila and Monet Exchange being the tops. I was not shocked by that. They should have been, based off of the roast challenge alone. I didn't expect for all the other queens to be bottoms. I was like, everybody could be up, together. Because of this little twist, all the bottom queens are shook. People who thought they would have been safe are like, oh, hell no. So you go back into the workroom and all the queens are like scrambling. And then Valentina, who I love, pulls a Jasmine Masters. You might not have liked what I said, but you can't say it wasn't funny. And everybody's like, sis, you're delusional. None of it was funny. None of it was funny. Nobody laughed. It wasn't funny. It's not even the fact that we didn't like what you said. It just wasn't funny. Monique Hart is pissed, as she should be, because she's just like, I shouldn't be in the bottom at all. It's a competition, sis. But I get it. I wish she would have worked a little bit harder, but she was like, no. Don't nobody pick my lipstick, okay? And Trinity, who all of a sudden started playing the damn game, because what I was not expecting was for her to offer up Valentina so quickly. She was like, oh, she's been in the bottom, she's been this, and I was just like, oh, that loyalty is gone. Because I feel like when Trinity found out that Valentina was going to send her home over Latrice, she was like, the hell with this friendship and sisterhood thing. I'm trying to stay. As soon as she sat down, she was like, Valentina should go. I was like, oh, wait a minute, sit down, get a drink first. But she was like, oh, all bets are off. I'm not going home tonight. Let me get to the lip sync for your legacy. And Monet Exchange is in a pussycat wig and a bodysuit or a romper. No, what is it? A jumpsuit, a bedazzled jumpsuit with like a cheap little belt. And I'm like, Monet, you did so good today. What is going on here? And Manila's look. Let's get to the song. The song is one of my favorite songs. I was just listening to it today. Jump, jump, jump to it by the late and great Aretha Franklin. It was such a great song. I think the queens, Manila and Monet, I'm gonna be real with you. That's a great song, up tempo, so much they could have done, so many tricks they could have pulled out. This was probably one of the laziest lip syncs I've seen in a minute, because they were funny with the singing of it, but it was so much they could have done that was just the stage was left bare. And I'm like, I don't want you jump, jump, jump to it. And that's it. Like this, all that was funny, but it seemed like the both of them forgot the words. I was like, y'all got a great song, and there was so much you could have done. And not saying that lip syncs have to be with tricks, but there were no wow factors in this lip sync at all. And it's like, you're lip syncing for your legacy. You're lip syncing for $10,000 damn dollars. Okay? You would give it all on that stage. I wanted them to leave it all on the stage. And they didn't. And it was so disappointing because they had a great song to do it to. But anyway, Ru decides to make both of them the winners and save all the queens from elimination. And I think the lip sync did it. I think that this was a good challenge to save all of the queens. Just because Manila and Monet did such a great job and Ru has to use her save at some point. So I was like, I'll go with this. I would have wanted it to be maybe for one where we could have saved Latrice. However, we didn't need it because we get to a twist, all the queens go backstage, and guess who was there? The queens that were eliminated. So I think what's probably going to happen for next week's episode is that all of the queens are going to lip sync for their legacy. And whoever is they're going to go up against each other. And whoever is the winner out of that lip sync will now be our final, 4 or 5 or whatever. So I think that's what's going to happen because we get a clip of all of them going up to the lipsticks. So I'm thinking that we're going to have a lip sync for your legacy sing off. And Ru kind of put a message on the mirror about that. So we will see what happens next week. Oh, before I close out, can we talk about how Lady Bunny roasted all of them gloriously? I'm like, that's how you do it. She just went down the line. I'm like, yes! I love to see a professional at work. Gets my body going. Not in that kind of way, just excited. Also, when Lady Bunny was like, now it's time for me to go back, Miss Bunny, I was screaming. She is, I gotta see more Lady Bunny. Lady Bunny, stellar. Just for those couple minutes, man, you killed. This also confirmed for me that Miss Vanjie is going to be on season 11. Because we were talking about it in the comment section for last season. I was saying that I think she was probably going to come back for All Stars, but a few of you were like, no, we think that she's going to come back for 11 because she didn't really get a full season. And that makes a lot of sense. So I think we're going to see her on season 11. We have to. How can you not capitalize on that, Ru? Anyway, that's it for me. I thoroughly enjoyed this episode. I was very happy that we got an episode that I could really have a good time with because the last two wasn't really giving me anything, especially that Jersey Justice. Please scrub that from IMDb. We don't need to ever know about that episode ever again. But this episode was so worth it. I had such a good time. And if you like what you see here, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. And I will see you next week for the following episode of, I was going to say The Real Housewives of Drag Race. You know what? That's what we're going to call it. The Real Housewives of Drag Race. Love you guys.